Welcome to Gail's Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make a bunny cake for Easter. To make this bunny cake, you use an 8 or 9 inch layer cake, and I chose to use the remaining batter to make 2 6-inch round cakes and made 2 babies. First step you're going to do is cut your layer in half. These 2 halves are going to come together like this, then sit up and form the bunny's body. I microwave just about a tablespoon of vanilla icing just to make it more spreadable. Gently press on it so the icing will spread. I filled my cake tin a little more than half full because that's what causes the cake to dome. You're just going to cut a notch out about 1/3 of the way up of your bunny. It doesn't need to be real deep. Just take out a little notch. I'm going to take one piece of the notch and I'm going to attach it as the bunny's tail. You don't have to use a toothpick. If you do, obviously you want to remember to remove it. So our bunny sat in the freezer for about an hour. That step is not necessary. It just makes it easier to ice it without crumbs. I'm using whipped vanilla icing today because we're going to cover it with white coconut. And I just microwaved it for about 10 or 15 seconds just so it's a little easier to stir and spread. It's not the easiest cake to ice, but the point is just to get the icing on there. And if you can, try to get the sides puffed out just a little. We are covering this in coconut, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You need about 1 cup of coconut and just cover him. Just kind of mash it in on him a little. I used a carrot cake to make the layers. You can use any cake mix you want, but carrot cake seems to be appropriate for the rabbit. Putting 2 black jelly beans in for his eyes and just push it in there. And a pink one for his nose. He's starting to look like a rabbit. Yay! Now for ears, I just use construction paper. You can take some pink construction paper and just cut out the basic ear shape. I take a knife and just make a slit. Take the piece of construction paper, you just fold it in half and then fold each half like that. I come around and round his ear off a little and just stick that in that little hole. So there's Mama Rabbit. Now one last step that I do, because several times I cut the notch too deep, so I take a little of the coconut and I just go and fill in behind the ears a little. And if you cut the notch a little too deep, that fixes that problem. Now we're going to color some coconut green. You're going to put some coconut in a jar, add several drops of green food coloring, and then just shake it around till your coconut is colored green. I took a piece of cardboard and covered it in tinfoil, and then I put some of our green colored coconut for grass, and I'm going to transfer Mama Rabbit onto the center. Just take 2 spatulas up under the rabbit, and I'm just going to set my rabbit very gently on here. Just have to push it just a little. There, that worked.